Hello Visioneers, welcome to Small Business Celebration. We're continuing our series on small businesses that not only survived the last recession, but thrived during the last recession. And our guest this week is a belt of sunshine. This is Small Business Celebration. Join us as we learn from successful business owners and successful business leaders about who they are, from where their business has grown, what they have learned, and where their successful business is going. I am your host, Michael I. Roberts, and we're going to learn something that you can use today to grow a strong and profitable business.
Hello, my name is Chad Tonko, founder and CEO of Primaris Market Development. I listen to the Small Business Celebration podcast for two specific reasons. The first reason is small businesses are the backbone of our economy here in the United States, with over 56% of our national GDP coming from them. So I like to hear about them. I like to hear what's going on, and the Small Business Celebration podcast is the perfect place for it. Secondly, and more importantly, this is the place to go for inspiration and ideas. So check it out, Small Business Celebration podcast. You won't regret it. Cheers.
Before we begin our program with this week's successful small business visionary, I want to take a moment and thank you for joining us here on the Small Business Celebration program. If this is your first time, you're about to experience why after tens of thousands of downloads, small business owners, small business leaders, presidents, CEOs, CFOs, and general managers all download the Small Business Celebration program in record numbers on a weekly basis. We want to thank the tremendous content that our Visioneer guests continue to provide this program, our sponsors, and you, Visioneer Nation, who have subscribed to this program, internalized our guests' valuable insight, acted upon that insight, and because of it are growing a strong and profitable business. And we thank you. Our guests this week are John Willingham and Carol Bennett of Sunbelt Business Brokers and Advisors, and welcome to Small Business Celebration.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And for visionaries who don't know, who are you and what is it that you do?
Well, I'm John Willingham. I've lived in Bakersfield pretty much all of my life for the last 70 years or so. Mm-hmm. And I got into the real estate business probably 40 plus years ago, 44 years ago, actually. And then gradually I always sold businesses. Back in those days, real estate brokers sold businesses. They still do. Uh-huh. But then I started to specialize more in businesses, and I bought the Sunbelt franchise in 2001. So now we have both companies. We have New Concept Realty, and we have Sunbelt Business Brokers and Advisors, where we sell businesses and help small business owners.
And you?
I'm Carol Bennett, Sunbelt Business Brokers and Advisors here in Bakersfield. I love Bakersfield. I'm from LA, moved here 14 years ago. I've been a real estate agent for over 25 years or so, and I've done quite a few different things before I did this 2.5 years ago.
The reason we're here is because we're in the middle of a recession, and this is not the first recession that you've been through, John.
No, it's not.
What did Sunbelt look like in 2007?
We had quite a few listings, and we were having a good year, closing more deals than we had the previous year. We were doing well, and then towards the end of 2007, it seemed to slow down a little bit. Our calls started to, back when we got a lot more calls, the calls started to not be as often, and things were just changing. We got a sense of it.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. 2008 was the economic crash.
Yeah, and then we really got a sense of it.
And how did you not only survive the recession of 2008, 9, 10, 11, 12, but thrive because of it? What happened? What did you do?
Well, I've always been a believer in having more than one source of cash flow. I like multiple streams of cash flow. So I've got the real estate company, and then we got the business brokerage, and then real estate investments. So when the business brokerage was hardest hit by the recession, and a lot of businesses just went out of business, But the real estate market was hurting, and there were a lot of foreclosures and things. A lot of people got hurt.
Right.
But we're brokers. So brokers don't own the real estate. They just help whoever owns it sell it,
Right.
or buy it.
Right.
And so because of some of the designations I have, I got hooked up with some national companies who had made a lot of bad commercial loans.
Mm.
And we were hooked up with other companies who had made some bad residential loans too. So we're doing a lot of sales of foreclosed properties.
Mm-hmm.
And so then I consolidated the two companies. Sunbelt was over on California Avenue, and we consolidated them back here with us. So because of that multiple streams of cash flow and how maybe one will go down and one will stay up or even get better, we were able to survive.
Where did you, first of all, learn the concept of multiple revenue streams? And then how did you learn the practice of multiple revenue streams?
Probably from my mother.
Okay.
My mother was a very good business person. She sold insurance. She was an insurance broker.
Uh-huh.
And of course, she had, neat thing about the insurance business, you get renewals, trails. And so even when business was off a little, she would still have her trails.
Mm-hmm.
And then she invested in real estate. So she had multiple streams of cash flow. And I always knew that would be a good thing to have. You need the more streams you have. I even sold Shackley for a while, you know.
Now, Carol, 2007 looked very different for you.
Yes, I was in real estate at the time, resale actually.
And what is resale real estate?
Resale are residential homes that are already lived in.
Mm.
So someone is selling their home as opposed to new home sales where a builder has just built it and somebody moves in.
Mm-hmm.
So I was a resale agent at the time,
Mm-hmm.
and I was doing fairly well. Obviously, when things changed, I had to find another way to make money, and so I went into foreclosures. I was hired by a company that gave me, I know this sounds great, but 200 listings from Bakersfield to Fresno.
Wow.
And I hired a team of 5 to help me. And it was crazy. Yes, we made money, but after about 12 months, I was ready to do something different.
Right.
So,
And why was that?
I am such a family person that I was having to turn everybody down for every event that I was invited to. And I'm too social to ignore my family, and I care about them so much. So I said, I can't do this anymore. And they said I couldn't do it anymore.
Sure.
So yeah, they love me too much. No. So yeah, I had to just say, okay, what do I want to do?
And then you decided at some point to go out on your own.
Yeah, I tend to like to do that.
And why is that?
I'm a leader, a natural leader.
Mm-hmm.
I'm an influencer. I've been told I have a type A personality.
No.
Yeah, people have actually said that to me. I've taken tests. So it's just it's the natural course for me to go that way.
Right.
And you can't fight me on it because it doesn't go well if anyone fights me on it.
Right.
And it's not on purpose. It's just the way I am. So,
Right.
you know.
And it sounds like with you, John, that you've wanted to chart your own course from the very beginning, learning that from your mom.
Pretty much, yeah. I worked for the Bakersfield Californian for 12 years.
Right.
And but while I was working for them, I was able, because of the position I had with them, I was able to also go into the real estate business. And I worked in the real estate business a year and a half. And I was working part-time in the real estate business, but making twice as much money as I was at my other. Still took me a year and a half to, it's nice to get a paycheck every week.
Right.
And in the real estate business or the business opportunity brokerage business, you don't get a paycheck every week.
Right. Right.
So
That brings us to today, because we are in a recession. there's a notion of wanting to pull back, hold on to what you've got. But I see, Carol, you're shaking your head, or
it's a great opportunity right now.
Why is that?
Well, when things slow down around you, but you're the one that's still working, it's amazing what you can do.
How so?
For one, you'll shine brighter than the ones that are holding back because you're not stopping. You won't stop. And you can't give up. And that would have to be my main way of looking at things. When the going gets tough, I have to work harder. I can't let obstacles stop me. And I think for a lot of people, it's very easy to let that happen. And now we're in a position where we've never been before. The whole world is aware of this pandemic.
Right.
And I think it's a great opportunity for people who want to be entrepreneurs, for people who want to own their business, maybe for the first time, for investing. There's probably more opportunity to invest in something right now for those who have been planning ahead and have the cash, or who know how to work with the seller, which we do. We can make that happen. But not giving up and working hard, and even harder, and getting more creative the harder it gets. So that's kind of the way I'm looking at it right now.
For business owners and business leaders who want to learn more about what you and John can offer them about their business that may be up for sale, or looking for other businesses that have opportunities, how do they reach out and get in touch with you?
Very easily. I'm Carol Bennett. You can reach me at 661-369-1516. And John?
661-332-9401.
And what is your website?
Our website is bakersfield.sunbeltnetwork.com.
Are you getting the blue screen of death? Or worse, are you getting a black screen with white gibberish on it? Something that looks like it should be translated by an ancient Egyptian paleontologist? Have no fear. The highly trained staff at Bakersfield Bytes is here to serve you. As Kern County's #1 rated computer repair store, your business's computers are in good hands. Need to upgrade your computer? No problem. Need a stronger network? No problem. Call Bakersfield Bytes at 661-496-5900 and keep the backbone of your business in tip-top shape. Call Bakersfield Bytes at 661-496-5900 or at bakersfieldbytes.com. That's Bakersfield, BYTES.com. We're here with John Willingham and Carol Bennett with Sunbelt Business Brokers and Advisors, and we're talking about how now is the time to look at buying businesses versus selling businesses. Why is that the case, John?
Well, it was like Carol was saying, there are a lot of opportunities out there. We have developed a business brokers program that we call distressed businesses. And we operate in that program a little different than we operate normally. Normally, when you list a business, you don't tell the potential buyer the name of the business or where it's located until the buyer signs a non-disclosure agreement.
Right.
We're still going to get the buyer to sign a non-disclosure agreement, but in our teasers that we'll have out all over the internet, we'll have the name of the business and we'll have the name of the location of the business. So, and we get permission from the business owner who realizes that their business is distressed. First, you got to convince them of that. If you own a restaurant and you're closed, that's a distressed business.
Right, right.
And so once we get them to understand that, then we tell them we're going to market your business that way. That means a lower selling price.
Right.
Maybe just the value of the assets, but maybe you get out from under a lease that you've signed a personal guarantee on or whatever. And so you can move on, and then you can regroup and go at it again later when things improve. So, and for buyers, this is an excellent opportunity to acquire a business if you have the foresight and the understanding of how to turn it around.
How come?
Well, like if you have like the restaurant business. Now we know the restaurant business is going to turn around. And I think eventually we'll all be eating and not sitting 6 feet apart.
Right.
I saw a deal on news last night. There were some people running around. I guess they're waiters, but they've got an inner tube and their own little. Did you see that? And they're all 3 feet apart. It was crazy. I thought, oh, this is crazy. Anyway, things will turn around. And when they turn around, you bought the business at a very low price. Probably we're going to be able to negotiate with the landlord. We do that too. Right. So that's all part of our service. So we're going to get that landlord to give you some favorable terms. We're going to get that seller to give you some favorable terms. You'll probably be able to buy a business that you could, like for half of what it would cost you to open a new one. So, or maybe even less. Mm-hmm. So those are the kind of things that so you always, what's that old saying about lemonade? How's it? When all you have is lemon, you make lemonade.
Right.
So that's what we're trying to do. We're trying to make lemonade with what we have. And we got some lemons, a lot of lemons right now.
Carol, why should somebody consider buying a business instead of starting a business?
Oh, well, I think that's simple. If you're an entrepreneur and you want to start your own business, and it depends on if it's your personal business or a franchise, there's a lot of upfront costs, a lot. And then there's training and hiring and setup, and there's so much that goes on with that. Why not buy a business that's already running, that's already been set up for you, and it's ready to go, and those upfront costs are already there. And I think that it just depends on the type of person you are. Yes, I like to be very independent. I like to do things, and I would rather buy a business that's already set up. Absolutely.
And it's because the upfront costs are already eliminated.
Well, you have to remember, too, that it's not just that. But when a new business starts up, usually in the first 2 years, you know if that business is going to make it or not.
Right.
So there's a trial period. If you buy a business already in place, they've gone through the trial period for you. So why not?
Right. Mm-hmm. Steps through the landmines that have already been laid.
Right. And we also put in our listing agreements for the businesses that the seller will also do some training. It's included in the sale.
Very good. Mm-hmm. Now, John, what is the criteria that you look at for a business or a business owner that wants to sell their business? What are things that you're looking for to see if that business is a viable option to be purchased and sold?
Well, I look at the businesses sell on numbers. You know, they sell on the top line number, revenue number, and they sell on the bottom line number that we, in what we call Main Street business brokerage, we adjust a little bit to get to a thing we call seller's discretionary earnings. And those are the two numbers that they sell on. And so I look for strong numbers. Well, it's really not so much what I look for. It's what does a buyer look for?
Right.
A buyer looks for strong numbers. They look for over a period of time. We like to list businesses that have been in business for at least 3 years. And we look for good books. You'd be surprised how many people keep not very good books and how many people don't keep accurate books.
Well, there's money in my checking account. Obviously, I'm doing well.
That's right. and you can write a check because there's checks in your
checkbook. Exactly.
Right. So we look for that. We look for a motivated seller. If a seller comes to our office and they tell us something like, well, I don't care if I sell the business or not. I'm going to test that seller a little bit because what are you doing here?
Right.
If you don't care if you sell your business.
Might as well just close it.
Right. So you need good books, you need a motivated seller, and you need a good business that is generating income and has a prospect of continuing to generate the income. Because even though they look at the numbers now, that's not what they're buying. They're buying the potential for those numbers to get better, or at least not get any worse.
Right.
So that's what.
Now, Carol, we're in a recession, and so the numbers for this year are not going to look like the numbers from last year or the year before.
Right.
So what are you looking for when somebody comes in that wants to sell their business, but for obvious reasons the numbers are down and forecasting may be questionable at best?
And it will be. Just with a couple buyers recently, they already understand the numbers are down.
Mm-hmm.
The sellers they know they can't hide the fact that they're down.
Right.
So we've had to be a little bit more creative. So depending on the price, if that fits today from 2 months ago when we listed it at that price, maybe it's really not that price today.
Right.
So we're going to have to do some negotiating, and both parties are going to have to work together. So the other thing too is these SBA loans, we're not getting them right now.
Right.
They're very difficult to get.
Right.
So we're having to rely more on the seller to do seller financing.
Mm.
But we also want the buyer to come in with cash. We don't want the seller to have to finance everything.
Sure. That's why they're trying to sell the business. They
Right.
don't necessarily have the
But
cash.
we also want to make sure that there's cash flow when they buy the business so that it doesn't fail.
Right.
Hi everyone, I am Ann Hauser, Marketing Director for the Palms at San Lorenzo Senior Living.
Hi everyone, it's Jennifer Pitcher, local public and government affairs consultant.
This is David Collins with Commercial Trade.
Hello, my name is Chad Tonko, founder and CEO of Primaris Market Development.
What do these Visioneers all have in common? They send us a quick 30-second video with their name, the business with whom they're associated, why they subscribe to the Small Business Celebration program, and they emailed it to us at sbc@smallbusinesscelebration.com. Their videos all appeared on the Small Business Celebration program, and yours can too. Simply shoot a quick 30-second video with your name, the business with whom you're associated, why you subscribe to the Small Business Celebration program, and email it to us at sbc@smallbusinesscelebration.com. Your video could appear on the next Small Business Celebration program, and we look forward to seeing your video today. We're here with John Willingham and Carol Bennett. Carol, you are very active in the community.
Mm-hmm.
And one of the organizations that you are heavily involved with is Babes in Business.
Yes.
And tell us about Babes in Business and why are you involved?
Actually, one of the ladies that started it had a wedding business,
Mhm.
so she was business oriented.
And first of all, what is Babes in Business?
It's for women who are professional and they own their own business, and they get together and they celebrate with one another, and hopefully we get business from each other, which does happen.
Nice.
So I think it's just a nice network to have, so that if you're a business owner and you're having a great time or you're having a bad time, because sometimes it's a roller coaster, it's nice to know that there are other women out there going through what you're going through. There's also a mentorship program that they do that I think is wonderful. I've been a mentor before in different capacities, and when they said that they needed some women in business who were mentors, I raised my hand right away, and I didn't really feel like I had done much at all, but I got a thank you out of it, and I thought, I really didn't do much. But again, it's one of those things that I guess I love it, so it doesn't seem like it's much for me to do it, but it's a really neat group of women that really care about each other. There is another one called Boss Ladies. So I've been to both. I've gone back and forth.
Right.
But they're all like that, and they're wonderful groups.
John, tell us one thing that Visioneers could do today to grow a strong and profitable business.
Depends on the business you're in, but if you're in a business that's not affected so much by COVID, and you're a strong business, a good business, there will be other businesses like your business that are going to be failing and wanting to sell, maybe even distressed businesses. So you can merge those businesses, you can acquire those businesses and merge them into your business. And you can hire employees from those businesses. So you can, the big get bigger and the little ones either die or get smaller.
Right.
But you can take advantage of that. You can even have some of those people work for you.
So you're actually taking the best and the brightest of both businesses to make a stronger business yet.
Exactly. Yeah. And an example is the guy who used to own the Santa Clarita Sunbelt in 2008
Right.
works with me now in my business here. So he still lives in Santa Clarita and he works that market.
Right. And how about you, Carol? What is one thing that you would advise visionaries that they could do today to grow a strong and profitable business?
I think that you have to have passion in what you do. So hopefully if you're already in a business that you love and you're passionate about it, it won't feel that difficult to come up with creative ideas to figure out a way to still do well, even during this type of market. And we know that many others have gone through this before. This is not the first time. History repeats itself. And for me, it's nice to work side by side with John and see all that he's been through, and we can compare notes. And it's nice to know we're not alone. So for those really, really hard days, just call up your business friend who's been through it. You'll get through it.
Sure. And John, if Visionary Nation wanted to get in touch with you, how do they do that?
Oh, well, of course, our website, bakersfield.sunbeltnetwork.com. And then my phone number is 661-332-9401. And my email, I've got about 20 of those. So let's see. I'll give you the long one is john.willingham@sunbeltnetwork.com.
And Carol, how can visionaries reach out to you?
Sure. My cell number is the best, 661-369-1516. And I also have a Sunbelt email. It's a little shorter than John's, cbennett@sunbeltnetwork.com.
Thank you both for being on Small Business Celebration and imparting your truth and your wisdom. And we appreciate you both being on very, very much. Thank you.
Thanks for having us.
Thank you.
Hello, Visioneers. Welcome to Small Business Celebration. Let me try again.